Hello and welcome. I'm Angela Meiritz-Reid from Christchurch, New Zealand, and today I wanted to create these cards with you. It's a great way to use 3x3 DSP without wasting any. So just to get started, we'll make this one here first. So I've got this beautiful piece of mossy meadow cardstock, and I'm just going to fold that in half and give a nice crease along the edge. And then what I've done is got a piece of the beautiful Garden Walk Designer Series paper, and all I've done is just gone to the 3-inch mark and cut it in half. So you get two of those pieces. So 3 inches is about 7.6. And then what I've got is it's got this beautiful Poppy Parade colour in it. So I've got a piece of Poppy Parade that is just a slightly wider. So that piece is 7.9 centimetres, or in inches that is 3 1/8. I think that's right. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 3 1/8. So just slightly wider. And then all I'm going to do is just adhere that onto there. So it is slightly longer, so we'll trim it down. Once I've got it stuck on the front, it's just easier then. So I'm just going to pop that on. And I like the multi-purpose liquid glue because then I can jiggle it around and get it nice and even. And then just leave it for a moment or two just to settle. And I've got a piece of Calypso Coral for that, and I've got these gorgeous, these are the deckled rectangle dies, and I've got one out for use for something else, but there are 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these, and they're great because they really do cover a multitude of sizes. So what I tend to do, because the stamp is a photopolymer, so what I tend to do with photopolymer stamps, if I'm going to be die cutting, is I die cut it first. So then I don't have to worry about the die moving when I'm running it through, getting it straight. Just straight away just die cut it like that. And then that out of the way. Then I'm going to stamp onto that, and so with the photopolymer I can see exactly where I want that to go. So I'm just going to use my embossing buddy and Versamark, and I've got some gold embossing powder. Get that nicely inked up. And then I can work out exactly where I want that to go and get it nice and straight. And then I'm good to go. So I'm just going to, I'm using gold accessories today, so that's why I'm doing the gold embossing. Make sure I've got all the none left hanging around. So I'll just emboss this, won't be a moment. And then what I'm going to do, well, that just needs a wee bit more. Then what I'm going to do is adhere this onto here. You can see it's a little bit longer, and as I said, I'll trim that down once it's on, so then I can make sure it's nice and even. I want to get that. About there. I think that looks fairly even. And then just make sure it's even across the top there. And just give that a few moments to dry. So while that's drying there, I'm just going to tie a bow. And this is, it's one out of a pack. There's also silver in the pack, so it's an online exclusive. So you can just go straight onto the online store and purchase this. It's not in any of the catalogues. Get a nice generous bow with that. It's about the same size as that one. And then hopefully that's had a bit of time to dry. So I'm just going to bring my trimmer in. What I do is just line it up there. Just pop my blade and butt that up and then just run that along. So it just trims that off nice and straight. Otherwise, you could just use a pair of scissors and do that. And then I want to put my bow down. I just get a glue dot about where I want that to go. Put that on. Put that on there. And I'll just pop some dimensionals on here, and I found it's quite a high knot on that, so I'm just going to pop 2 layers just so I've got plenty of clearance of that. And I want to get that nice and straight, so I just line it up with the bottom, go straight up. I just want to take it over the edge a little bit. And then I want to add some of these gold dots here, and they are the blooming pearls, and they come in 4 colours, so they coordinate with this designer series paper. So I'll just pop 3 of these onto here. And just randomly, or sort of, I like to get them in a bit of a triangle. And that is that card there. So of course when you've got the other half, you can do exactly the same, and you just have not wasted, you've only not used that tiny little piece out of that 3x3 times 2, so really good use of the paper. And then, so next I'm going to do this one here. So it's exactly the same. Just going to put some basic white cardstock, and it's the thick one. So it really stands up well, especially when you've got a few layers on. So I'm just going to do exactly the same. I've got beautiful Lost Lagoon here, and then this one here. So I thought, it doesn't say Lost Lagoon on the list, but I thought that worked perfectly with that. And I was saying this as in a comment the other day. If you don't need to pop the glue right to the edge, because when you pot it down, it will squish out, so it will squish towards the edges, and it just means you don't end up with glue all over your hands. So that's why a lot of people don't like using glue, because they feel like they're going to be stuck to things. And then I'm going to use this beautiful Calypso Coral ribbon. This is it's called the Braided Linen Trim, and this coordinates with this designer series paper too. So I'm just going to do exactly the same. Do a nice big bow. It is a bit bigger, but that's okay. It's nice to have a nice big bow. I'm just going to trim that the same size, and that is going to go on there with a glue dot. Oh, actually, I popped that on first, didn't I? Doing things out of order. Not that it necessarily matters, but I do need to trim it down, so it's probably easier without the bow on it. It's good to use your grid paper to line things up. No, it's just over 1 centimetre. So make sure it's nice and straight. If you pretty much guarantee it's going to be straight if you get it straight along the top. Right, leave that for a moment. So what I might do is I can stamp, die cut these. So what I did, I die cut this one. I'll show you what I've done with these. These are fat. I always like making dies smaller, and with this deckled edge one, it's so easy. You don't have to line up a single, well, just the edge of the paper, really, the cardstock, that's all. So cut that, and then put this one on here. Let's try and go slowly. Sorry, I know it jiggles the camera a little bit. And what I'm going to do, let's move that out of the way for a moment, and I'm using Calypso Coral ink to coordinate with everything else. And what I'm going to do, stamp this on, just make it up a little bit higher and to the left a little bit. Hopefully that looks relatively straight. Then I'll bring in my die cutting machine again. Then I'm going to get that die again. What I'm going to do is just pop it over that right hand side piece and the bottom a little bit. I might do it this way, it might be easier for me. It's just when the paper card curls a little bit, so it sit flat. Try this way. I'm just going to pop that on there, and I'm going to run that through again. Then, so you've got a slightly smaller label, and that is going to sit on there so that you get that nice bit of edging around. And it doesn't matter that it doesn't line up, I don't think, it just adds to a bit of interest. So I'll just adhere that onto there. So like a lot of the other die cuts, you need to line up, but this one doesn't matter at all. So it makes it really easy. So that's that done. So now I'm going to do exactly the same as last time and trim this down a little bit. Trim that bottom piece off. And get my glue dot back in, and it's just really sits on there. And then the same again, I'm going to put 2 layers of dimensionals, one on top of the other, just to, so it will not go lumpy and bumpy over that bow. And then line that up again. So these are cards I'm making for my team for every month. I do recognition for things that they've done, and they get a card and a gift or a voucher. So these are this month's cards, so I thought I'd share them with you. And it's a great way to share, you know, and show your team different DSPs too, because of course you can't always have everything out of the catalogues much as you would like. I'm doing a paper share, so if you live in New Zealand and are keen, let me know, so I can. I'm doing them in, you can have a half share or a quarter share or even an eighth if that's all you want. So just email me or phone me if you live in New Zealand. I'll put all my details anyway at the bottom. So those are the cards. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed those, and we'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye.